Hey, this is Tiger. Welcome to my stream, the first stream for Train Sim World 6. Out for 1 hour now. AJ, good evening. Who? Stream time. You say yes. Here we go. Let's unbox it. You can hear the music. You can see the new user interface. You can see that I managed to get my Joe Lorry profile over to Steam because I'm now playing on Steam for the moment until everything is fixed on the Epic Game Store, what hopefully will actually happen in a not so far away future. We will do 3 unboxing streams, a minimum, 1 for each world. Now we're going to Great Britain and run the Riviera Line, Exeter to Paignton and to Plymouth. Checking out the Voyager, the 802, the diesel Azuma if you want to put it like this. And the little trains that come with the DLC, the 150/2 Sprinter. And maybe the 166 that layers in from the Great Western Railway that is still to get a facelift or a remaster that I'm actually really looking forward to. Yeah, what are we going to do? First, let me check the disclaimer. I got the game keys for free from Dovetail Games for being an ambassador. Nevertheless, you will get my unfiltered opinion. Everything I say is because I think it is that way. Nobody pays me for saying anything. And AJ says, whoop, free stuff. Yep. That's the good thing about being an ambassador. We're playing Train Sim World 6, Riviera Line, and it is the unboxing stream. Let me choose a service on the Class 802. Either the 5-car or the 9-car version. Let's see if we find a nice service that allows us to run the whole line from Exeter to Plymouth, Paignton Exeter, Plymouth to Exeter, Exeter St. David's to Paignton. You even changed the stream title to Train Sim World 6, AJ says. Yes, that's what I did. Let's play with custom weather, clear September, so that we can see the route without rain coming in. I'm actually not spoilering too much. I really love this route. I've been playing around a lot with the Leipzig-Dresden, we are getting to tomorrow. And I was not so super enchanted with it so far. It is a really big and huge route, but this Riviera Line, this is eye candy and comfort food. So if you're not feeling well, just run some trains. The diesel trains, they have great sounds, especially the Sprinter sounds really soothing. And also the 802, what is a diesel electric DMU, a Japanese train, an A train, but unlike the Azumas, powered by diesel. It is a dual mode train. We could run it on an electric line, but on the Riviera Line in this DLC, we're obviously only running it on diesel power. And it is probably already spawning with the engines running. So, this is our door in the beautiful dark green and yellow livery for the Great Western Railway. Let's open the doors. Master key. Neutral. Check out if the doors are safely to be opened, and then press the button. We need some lights. During day it is okay to run them dimmed. Then we need safety systems. They are here on the back wall. ETCS, we can turn it on. This is for opening the doors, selective doors. We don't have ETCS on the train though. Vigilance, DSD, AWS and TPWS, AWS full. And also the BRATP, that is, well, not in this DLC here. Self-test worked. Is operational, thank you so much. Yes, vigilance device works. DRS seems to work as well. We have a signal. We can close the doors. Behold the platform announcements. Behold the announcements in the train. Anything else that we have to check out? Horns are working. Well then, let's go. We have a hill brake if we need it. Now I cut short the announcement because I have to check whether the train is running out of the station properly. Dawlish. So we're not going to Paignton, but we're going the whole line. We're a 9-car train. This is why we are a stroke 1 version, 802 stroke 1 with 9 cars, 802 stroke 0 with 5. First we're limited to 30. Might have already passed the sign that allows us to get 75. But we have to get our train past the sign. When we're approaching Exeter St. Thomas, then we should actually be past the sign and should be allowed to accelerate to 75 miles. Only 4 notches, unlike the Sprinter with 7. What I find so mesmerizing about this route is not only that we get a really nice scenery running along the shore. Here's the 100. But also that we have a really dynamic profile gradient wise. We're going uphill, downhill, uphill, downhill. At some sources you can read this is because major parts of this line were actually designed for Isombard Kingdom Brunel's atmospheric railway. What is an idea of running the trains not being pulled by a locomotive, but by more or less sucked along the track through a pipe that runs in the middle between the rails, and machines, engine houses, or in engine houses along the line, creating a vacuum so that the train can be pulled along the line by this vacuum. And this would have, had it worked, allowed more severe gradients to be navigated compared to the locomotives that were around at the time. So in some sources you can read that this is the reason why we have such steep gradients in this route. And this makes it super interesting to drive, and at the same time gives you this soothing feeling. When it's not lagging, AJ says, the game looks really nice. That's what I thought, yeah. I had a run with some misty weather the other day, and that looked amazing. They might have improved the appearance of the fog or mist again. And yeah, in the beginning you get a lot of stutters because the shaders need to be processed. Well, I don't know about you, but I find this dark green and yellow livery for Great Western Railways really, really elegant. Now we should get the Morpeth board for 75. Here it is. Sometimes a bit hard to see, and we're not getting an AWS magnet to go with it. So we have to slow down according to our own discretion. A bit around the corner. Here is the limit to 75, and here is the coastline and the sea. Sometimes it looks really beautiful, doesn't it? Sometimes it looks a bit artificial. It always depends a bit on the lighting, but like this, I find it is really amazing. So we're passing Starcross, I think was the name. Let me not. Yeah, Starcross. And what you can still see along the line are those engine houses where the engines were housed for creating the vacuum for the atmospheric railway. Was actually only in use for about a year, then it was abandoned again. Here, this is one of those engine houses with those typical square towers or chimneys. And so, like substations nowadays on electrified railways, they had these engine houses to create the vacuum to suck the train along the pipe. Problem was that some part of the train had to reach into the pipe like a paddle or a piston, and so there needed to be a slot in this pipe, a longitudinal slot, so that the train can reach into it with this piston. So obviously you need some sort of a valve that covers this slot as long as the train is not there. And this was a bit the vulnerable part of the whole contraption. From what you can read, it was made from leather, this valve. Now we're approaching Dawlish Warren with the carnival. You can see the Ferris wheel. You can see this one ride, the pirate ship ride, is actually animated. If you look to the left, it is swinging to and fro. Now we're getting a slowdown to 70 here, soon after Dawlish Warren. Here's the 70. Now running downhill. Increase to 75 coming in. Doesn't make sense, because we are stopping at Dawlish. You can already see Dawlish here. Originally a fishing town, now obviously a very famous seaside resort. That's what we're doing. We're approaching Dawlish. That was an announcement for a temporary speed restriction. One of the new core features in Train Sim World 6. Speed restriction to 40 was announced. The yellow sign with the black 40. And then with the two white discs marking it as the warning indicator for the actual speed restriction. Now we're sneaking in a bit, getting a bit laggy issues here. Get our own stopping boards for the 802 trains. Lofty, hey, hi Tiger, he says. And Morgoth's son, thank you for following. Aha. Unlike other trains, this holding brake here works differently. It is a on-off toggle with your keyboard, so make sure to release it in case your train doesn't want to run. And next up, Teignmouth. Or has a quite similar history to Dawlish. Once fishing port, now seaside resort. Going through a couple of tunnels here. Limit to 60, but let's not forget actually that we had a limit to 40 announced that we did not encounter. The British TSRs are announced way ahead of the actual reduction. And I think they should have put a repeating warning indicator. So the 40 with the 2 discs and an yellow board with an R at the end of the platform. Because this is exactly the situation why what those repeating indicators are for. Here's the 40. And soon enough we should get to a sign with a T on it. Terminate. Termination indicator. We're done. As soon as the train is past the T board, we can accelerate again to 60. Juniper, hey hey. So the repeated warning indicator at the end of the platform where we had to stop does not seem to be in the TSR routine so far. Juniper, hey, let's see how broken the Voyager really is. Well, I already drove it. It was fun driving it. The safety systems work. Increased to 75, but only a very short one here. Soon enough we will be slowed down to 60 again before we get to Teignmouth. Here's already the Morpeth board for the reduction to 60 again. And here already is a Voyager. Still a bit laggy sometimes if you're encountering trains on the opposite direction. Here you can see the warning sign for the temporary speed restriction in the opposite direction. Here's the 60 slowdown. I have to stop for Teignmouth now. This is Teignmouth. And Juniper says it was a bit embarrassing during the stream yesterday when they couldn't resolve the issue when the Voyager broke down. I felt bad for them. And AJ, was this on some official stream? Yeah, yesterday they actually had an official stream for this route. And the random train faults, to be fair, they are a bit clunky. Sometimes they cannot be resolved properly. I had a run with the Voyager where I had to restart my diesel engine like 15 times. On the Voyager it actually works while running. You don't need to stop On the Sprinter, on the other side, you need to stop, put it in neutral to get the motor starting again, but then sometimes the brakes don't release anymore. The train faults are not my favorite, to be honest. They are a bit too arcadey in my opinion. If you have train faults, then it should be like on the Baureihe 101 Expert, so that the train with its indicators and displays actually tells you what is wrong. And then you can figure it out by operating the switches and fuses and stuff. We will have to see how that works out. Pretty black train. Well, it's dark green actually, AJ. See? But I like the livery nonetheless, even though it is not black. There has already been an increase to 80 that I missed because I was using the external cameras, and now there is an increase to 90. Lofty, can you imagine one of these in Grand Central livery? Not really. I know that they are used in at least 2 different railways, right? One is in the Transpennine Express livery. What? No audio? Are you not getting any sound anymore? Sound cut out. Is it back now at any rate? Good. It's back. Good thing. Now, an interesting thing is actually that the frame rate in my game is limited to 30 when I'm streaming, but to 60 when I'm playing without streaming. Don't know if it is because of the stream actually going on or because I'm using a second screen. Newton Abbot, platform 1. That means probably that we will getting a slowdown to 40. Here's the moped for it. And they have a approach controlled home signal, if I'm not mistaken. Yellow, and there is another signal just in front of the platforms. The moment the signal is still red. And now it's switched. So we don't need to stop in front of the home signal, but we can go into the loop. The Voyager services typically don't go into the loop, they go straight ahead and stop at platform 2. So you don't have to slow down with the Voyager service. It's super quiet when Tiger isn't talking, or is it just me? No in-game audio? That is weird. If you don't have any in-game audio, so you're not hearing the announcements and the beep here from the AWS? Okay, I will pump up the in-game audio a bit. As soon as I got to my parking position. You don't hear, this is Newton Abbot. So you're not hearing the diesel noise? Still not? Oh, come on. This is annoying again. I can see... Try resetting the output speaker. Well, I hear the sound in my headphone, but it should be on the desktop audio. Still nothing? Because the audio is obviously a big thing here in this DLC. So you're still not getting any audio. I can see... the desktop audio. Yeah, but it's actually... not displaying any desktop audio. How can that happen? Yeah, I can see that there is actually no... there is nothing happening on the desktop audio channel in my OBS. I don't know what the problem is here, because I did not really change anything. And the desktop audio should be picked up here. Check your headphone audio. What does that mean? Maybe it's not desktop. Well, my microphone is actually a separate channel in OBS. There is one for desktop audio, and this is where the game comes through. And then there is my microphone channel, and the microphone channel is working, and the desktop audio channel is active, but I'm not getting any feed to it. Maybe this was because we updated the OBS before. Yeah, I can see it. It's... What? Do? Hmm? Yeah. Okay. That still doesn't give me anything. There's nothing coming through, right? Okay, and this has been since the beginning of the stream. Oh my god. Well, I have to restart OBS then probably. Okay, I got out for a bit. We'll be back soon.